We're going to try to do the front ball joints, or sorry, not front ball joints, the front tie rod ends on the steering, because they're not very good. And once we do that, I don't think I have the right parts. Son of a gun. Looking at that, I don't think those are the right parts. I think mine are actually a female thread. Okay, here's my dilemma. I actually have purchased the correct parts for this Polaris, if it was stock. These are not factory parts for the steering. I want to say they're pretty good. I knew the original owner told me he had the steering box replaced before I got it. But what I didn't realize, it looks like they replaced everything. So the stuff that I bought, I mean, granted it was aftermarket knockoff crap for the steering, isn't going to work. The interesting part is, this looks to be a rod end with a replaceable center section, if you can see that snap ring in there. So I am going to see if I can pop that snap ring out and figure out what that center section is, and maybe just buy that. Alright, I think I figured it out. This has the stock steering box, from what I can tell, but it has a SuperATV heavy-duty steering upgrade. That's what these parts are. And I also was able to figure out that SuperATV will sell you these for 90 bucks a pair, because they're a real screwy setup. This is an M14 by 1.5 left-hand thread. And finding that insert, that I can't do. I don't know what this is. I'm not having any luck finding that insert. I was, however, able to take some dimensions off this. It's a 3/4 bore, 1 7/16 OD with a 593 bearing thickness and a 3/4 overall thickness. This is a COM-12 spherical bearing insert, and they're about 12 bucks a piece on Amazon. So I got 2 of those on order. Now I'm going to put this thing back together so I can drive it until those come in, which should be in about a week, hopefully, maybe a little less. Then I can just spend 25 bucks to change this rather than another 90, because these aren't greasable. So I mean, if this was a greasable unit, all right, great, that's fantastic, but it's not. So these are going to wear out, and for 12 bucks a piece you can change them out yourself. So that's kind of neat. So we're going to put that back together. Okay, so the mail came in today. The old COM-12 spherical rod ends have come in, or spherical bearings, I suppose you call them. They seem pretty nice. They look right. And they are the insert in here. If you can see, that snap ring, that comes out, and this insert pops out. Then everything else goes back together. So we are going to attempt today to do this without jacking around with the rod end. I'm going to attempt to do it in place. I think I can. You got to pull the pin, take these parts apart, get that snap ring out. I've got a little ball joint press that should work. I should be able to push that out of there, clean it up, push the other one in, and put it back together. Should be pretty quick. So first thing we're going to do is get this cotter pin out of here, back this thing off, which I think is a 5/8 and 11/16, and then start the process. And the nice thing about this castle nut is, you know, even though this one's kind of dumb because it's way above where the cotter pin hole is, I suppose I should put a spacer on that to get that down where it's supposed to be. But the nice thing about it is it kind of acts like a self-tapper or a die a little bit. As you back it off, it'll kind of clean the threads because of those gaps. So that's what we're going to be doing next. All right, so now we got the insert off. A little sloppy. Let's see, some pretty good pitting on there from rust. Water over the ears. Yeah, it really shouldn't have this much play in it. Hopefully the new ones don't. But I'm going to go get a wire brush, clean this, pop this snap ring off, and then we got to try to push this thing out from the bottom. So I've got my ball joint press, and I'm going to try to get this to work. It looks like it will. A little bit tweaky. There's not much to support this whole thing. Need 3 hands, of course. There we go. Oh man. Come on. There it is. Okay. Now we will see if we can pop this thing out. No, it moved. And to make sure that the socket is lined up properly. And because of the snap ring, the socket needs to be smaller. Well, it did come loose anyway, so I'm just going to go pound this out on a bench. It'll be quicker that way anyway. And once you get it set up, you can just push it through. There she is. And there's the insert. Now we just got to clean this up really good. Push the new one home and put it back together. So there she is. No slop. Looks good. We're going to put the snap ring back in, screw it back in. I'm going to leave it loose because I'm going to end up having to realign this thing. And then that's it. Pretty simple. So there they are, the 2 removed inserts. Got the 2 new ones in. Got her aligned to within about a 1/16. Went really good. Popped them right out. You can actually, rather than using a press, if you got a good sized socket, you can put it on a vise, kind of spread it out and smack it with a hammer a few times and drive that thing right out of there. After, of course, you remove the snap ring. And now she's really done. Whew. This has been a heck of a week. Got a whole bunch of stuff done on this thing, but she's in better shape than certainly any time that I've owned it. And yeah, so if you've got a SuperATV heavy-duty steering kit and your bushings are getting wobbly, look for COM 12. Yeah, COM 12 bearings. And these even say made in the USA. Who'd have expected that? But once you do that, it's not that hard to change them as long as you got a pair of inside snap ring pliers. So I think that's going to be it on this thing for a little while, hopefully. Good gracious. But anyway, hope you're all having a good day. Talk to y'all later.